Big Little Lies Season 2 review, a different show, but still great Vox. Here are 3 things to know about the HBO drama's delightful second season. HBO's acclaimed fantasy series about betrayal, fighting families, abuse, an extremely fierce mother, death, an illegitimate son, and a wicked, wine-sipping queen has returned. Second season after its debut last summer, the show which boasts a featuring Reese Witherspoon, Nicole Kidman, Laura Dern, Shailene Woodley, and Zoe Kravitz swiftly became a phenomenon. Equal parts based on the Big Little Lies was initially going to be. It covered the new season feels a bit different, at least in its early episodes. Only the first 3 were sent to critics for review. And that's not, but different doesn't mean worse, or less entertaining. The focus of the stakes in Big Little Lies second season are little smaller and a little lighter compared to season 1's mystery and Perry's history of domestic abuse. Now, barring a swerve, it doesn't seem like there will be a gigantic death in season 2. But there is still Big Little Lies has continually suggested that monsters aren't born but created, and that parents shape their kids whether they intend to or not. See one of Celeste and Perry's sons in season 1, an apparent extension of his dad's abuse of his mom. And with everything Big Little Lies first season operated on a few different levels. At the heart of in the first few episodes of season 2, Big Little Lies turns the pettiness up a notch. Instead of pitting I am fully aware of the ridiculousness of that scenario. And yet I found myself shrieking with laughter when Renata Klein-Dern gloriously goes all in on Renata's indomitable self-importance this season, who is dealing with some private financial turmoil, realizes that all this talk of climate change is really stressing out Amabile. Anyone who watched You deconstructed my little girl into a coma, Renata hisses, in an absurd and hilarious line. There's also a hint that we'll eventually see Renata, dubbed the Medusa of Monterey, move on from Otter Bay's principal to Mary Louise, who appears to be quite capable, despite her meek demeanor, of holding her own. Perhaps the most exciting development in Big Little Lies second season is that there's more depth to each of the characters, allowing Witherspoon, Dern, and Kravitz in particular to give even more impressive performances. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely lived for the bickering and dueling children's birthday parties between Witherspoon's Madeline and Dern's Renata in season 1. But it was often that emotional core of the story shifts in season 2, as the women are forced to accept, internalize, and deal with the repercussions of Perry's death. Kidman's and Woodley's, and Madeline, who once loathed Bonnie, has to keep her secret while also providing a soft surface for Bonnie, who's dealing with a lot of trauma, to land. Adding to that challenge, Witherspoon's wicked interpretation of Madeline was memorable in season 1, but her performance is a lot more nuanced and thoughtful in season 2. The Mean Girl moment. Big Little Lies season 2 premieres Sunday, June 9th, at 9 p.m. Eastern on HBO. The news, but shorter, delivered straight to your inbox.
Raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.